Hello YouTubers, today I got a PlayStation 5 here. This one came in as no power. Or basically the customer said that it was really dirty and they cleaned it out. So we're going to plug it in here. Hit the power button. Nothing. There we go. So we get no light, nothing. So it's kind of like a one beep, real quick beep. I want to say it's like almost not a full beep. Like it's getting power, but it's not getting power. So what we're going to do is we're going to test for voltage. Alright, we're getting our 12 volts. Okay, the power supply doesn't drop down. That's pretty odd right there. Got our 5 volts there. 3.3 volts. Got our 5 volts. 5 volts. 5 volts. Should have our 12 volts here. Alright, we got our 12 volts there. Got our 12 volts there. Alright. Alright, let's take this apart and let's test some fuses. What I'm thinking possibly be happening, I've seen it happen before, especially on the pros, where you get like a fuse that's kind of working but it's not working. It's coming out of there. There we go. Alright, so we just disconnect the heatsink here. So we're going to test both sides of the board. Imagine it's going to be somewhere like on the main power supply. So we're just going to pry this out. Come on. So we can take this, set this to the side. Alright, so we got a fuse right here. 2 of them. Alright, that's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Test this one. Zero, 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 zero. Alright, so we got one over here. Zero, 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 zero. Good. We got another one up here. Zero, 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 zero. Alright, let's look for some more fuses. One over here on this side. Right here. Alright, now see, now this fuse right here is reading 0.386 in dial mode. So that's basically a bad fuse. Huh. So that one's not. So that's a bad fuse right there. That is definitely not reading. And dial mode. See that how it just beeped for a brief second? It was lower range. So it had a brief little bit of power through it, which would have made the connection, but then broke the connection for the power. So now it's reading, yeah, 0.387. Now see, now it's not going to beep. That was just that's in ohms. Now it should beep for a brief second. Yep, and it was lower range. So it was in the hundreds. Alright, so that fuse right there, that one is suspicious right there. Alright, put on some flux. gotta be level or the right way. No. Yeah, I'm not too fond about the JBC tweezers. They could have done better. Takes a lot of heat. Now we're gonna set that to the side there. We could test that. Alright. We're gonna put a new fuse down. Take one off a donor. It's a little beastier fuse. That's probably what it should use. Alright, we got that fuse off. You stay there. Add a little bit of solder to this pad. I'm going to put it sideways since it's a little tad bit bigger fuse. If I'm going to be able to do that, let's see. I might have to remove this. Alright, we're going to grab a different soldering iron. Now we can put the fuse in. There, we tagged up 7 there. Alright, that's good enough. Like, I've seen it where it's before, you know, on the pros and stuff, where it's a partial short, not a short, but the fuse is like sometimes working and sometimes not. So that's why I kind of went after the fuses. I haven't really seen this on the PlayStation 5s. Now let's check this fuse, the one that we pulled. And it's blowing. We're getting no beep. So from the heat, completely blew it. Isn't that pretty strange? Now, we got that other fuse that was in question too. You know, I cleaned it and it was reading fine, but you can see this one. This fuse is blowing, and this is F7001. Now let's check. Oh, it's beautiful. 000. What we're supposed to have there. Versus the old fuse. Now, you seen that other fuse, it was beeping and it was reading all different readings. That's, I believe, was causing the issue and not completely powering up. That would be causing it to briefly, you seen it like it wanted to power up, but it couldn't power up. So let's clean our little mess that we made here. So I take it that the fuse maybe partially, maybe it's a cause of the system overheating, which needs more, you know, power to power up the, you know, the fan and more circuitry, so it weakened the fuse. And that fuse was somewhat powering up sometimes and not. But then completely going out where the system won't boot up at all. And that wasn't even like a full beep. Alright, so let's test this now. Adjust our liquid metal here. Make sure we don't pinch our cables in here. my heat sinks on my products. That I'm working on. Okay, let's plug this in, see if we get fan spin. Alright, you think it's going to power up? You ready? Nothing. Now you can see that other fuse was blowing there. So it has to be that other fuse too, on top of it. Let's replace that other fuse. That other fuse was acting up. We can test it now since we put some power to it. I wish they would just design these game consoles with the power supply separate, the cord to them, so you could do all your voltage readings. So it was our fuse over here that was kind of acting up. Let's see. Alright, so now that fuse is blowing again. Strange. Very, very strange. So our fuse that we just put on there, thing blew. And you can see it blew. It blew a little hole right through it. Right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So definitely fried that fuse. Yep, and it's blowing. What? Something's shorting this out. So we're gonna have to get down to it. Let me check. So we got a short on this side. Maybe I should have checked that before putting the fuse on. But when I tested it, alright. Okay, yeah, I did just test. I didn't test it from the ground. So we definitely do got a short there. And that's what blew the fuse. So the power tried going through the system. Now, what would be causing the short that out? I have no idea where that trace goes. Alright, so I flip it around the other side of the board, right? So we can see where the vias are. Should be right here. So where in the heck does that go? How are we going to find out? There we go. That fuse is removed. Now, unfortunately, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to inject some voltage with the flare camera. Alright, so we're back here with the thermal camera. Obviously, this is going to... That's just picking up the reflection. So we found the short on the F7001. Now, it blew that fuse that we put in there. We should have checked for short first. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, around this area, we're going to probe it. So I got about 1 volt with some current in it. Alright, now it's grounded out. So let's see if anything gets hot. Alright, that's all that's getting hot. I don't see nothing else on this side of the board. Let's try it again. Nothing. Okay, I'm gonna supply some voltage. Alright, we got something getting hot there. See, I'm moving the board. Where in the heck is that at? Wish it was more detailed. Alright. Let's try this again. So I think we found the short. So it's right about here, I want to say. It's hard for it not to pick up my hand. So right about here, it's kind of leading me to this capacitor. Somewhere in this area. So let's check under the microscope. Which it was kind of pointing me to this capacitor here. Wait up, hold up. I see something. I don't know if you guys see it. See if I can zoom in on this capacitor. The one I think that's in question. Oh, looks like it's blowing or something. Yeah, look at that. There you go. I bet you that's the issue. A single capacitor that knocks out a fuse, which is good. That's why I'm liking that PlayStation 5 put fuses, a lot more fuses in their circuitry. Look at this. There's no way I would have nicked this with the plastic sponger when I was probing around this area. But you can see it's like broken. See, look at that. There it is. So it must have spilled its guts right here. Let's remove that. All because of this capacitor. Probably like what? 15 cent, 20 cent component. Knocks out a whole PlayStation 5, which are pretty expensive. Come on. And come off the board. It's okay. And that thing don't want to come off. Come on. There we go. Oh, I broke it off. Halfway. Let's test that capacitor. Oh, that's a big plane. Alright, that's good enough. Obviously the backside broke. So that thing must have took some heat. Yep, there was our problem the whole time. Yep. So that was our problem. That little guy right there. 20-cent piece. Stopping almost $1,000 system, $800. Now I have no idea what that value is. What I'll do is I'll look at another PlayStation, see if I could find similar chips like that, and we'll go in that area, take a capacitor out, and we're gonna have to replace the fuse. Just make sure we don't have a short on this other side. That's ground. Remember, we had a short on this side because that was the capacitor. Oh, I don't got you guys under the microscope here. So this side right here is ground. This side is not supposed to be ground, which we're getting the right reading. We're getting a reading of 0.6 or 0.464. That's what we're getting on that reading. Let me go hunting a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to turn off this power supply because we don't need that anymore. There we go. Got that off. Wow. These tweezers do not want to work for me. You just sit down. There we go. Now it's going to be a little bit bigger, but that's just because I pulled it off an older board. Higher capacity wouldn't hurt. Obviously, it was wanting more power for some reason. That's probably why it cracked. Causing the whole system not to power up just because of one capacitor. So we're just going to clean this area up pretty nice and clean, and then we can test it. Alright, so that's good. Now we need to replace our fuse that we blew. You know what we're going to do? We're going to redo those pads. And we're just going to stick it on the other pad that's right above there. There we go. Alright, beautiful. That's good. Alright, let's get ready to test this. And we'll test it with the meter real quick, just to make sure, so we don't blow another fuse. That's fine. I mean, I got plenty of parts boards, so you can see I decked out F7001, but we forgot the 1. We gotta touch up the 1. Let's just do it. It'll be my signature. There we go. It's bling blinging now. Just caused ourselves to clean it. I just had to, man. It was all there. Alright. Let's test it real quick. Okay, I'm on ground. Okay, normal reading of 0.376. This other side, same thing. So we got no ground, no short. Before that was ground on this side. So this side was ground, which then was shortened. We couldn't figure out where it was because it's just a same trace like that. It's inside the board and layer. We don't have the schematic or the board view for it. So by using the flare camera, which is a big saver, we were going to use rubbing alcohol, but we noticed that the cap had a little nick in it. That, you know, the cap that was originally here had a nick in it. So we replaced that with another cap. A little beefier cap. I don't know what would have caused that, but you know, the system only powered up for a brief second. Let's test this. What do you guys think? You think we're gonna get a light? Adjust our liquid paste here. Alright. plug our little light in here. Plug our other cables in here. Alright. Got that in there. Let's grab our fan for fan spin. Our power cord. Now before we just had a brief beep. It wasn't even like a full beep in a sense. And you couldn't turn it on right away. You had to wait a couple seconds. So you ready? Let's see a light here. Oh. Gotta plug it in first. Okay, here we go. Let's get fan spin, let's get light. We got a light, and we got fan spin. Yoo-hoo! So, PlayStation 5 is fixed now. We're just gonna have to put it back together. So we got fan spin, we got the light. We'll put it back together. So I hope you guys like this video. If you guys get a chance, give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.